Welcome to TechGolly Weekend News.
This week's top news headlines.
Disney finalizes full ownership of Hulu with $438.7 million payment to Comcast. Societe Generale to launch first bank-issued dollar-backed stablecoin on Ethereum and Solana. Elon Musk sets June 22nd launch date for Tesla robotaxi pilot in Austin, Texas. EU launches DNS for EU to enhance online privacy, security, and digital sovereignty. NVIDIA to build first AI cloud platform for industry in Germany, boosting Europe's AI ambitions. Binance opens crypto trading to Syria after U.S. sanctions are lifted. China confirms trade deal with U.S. after Trump call, affirms commitment to agreement. Meta invests $14.3 billion in Scale AI, bringing CEO Alexander Wang to lead AI strategy. Apple becomes top smartphone seller in China as global iPhone sales surge 15%. Trump steps in to save EchoStar's wireless future, stock skyrockets.
Disney has officially concluded its long-running acquisition of Hulu by agreeing to pay Comcast $438.7 million for its remaining 33% stake in the streaming service. The transaction marks the final step in a process that began in 2019 when both companies agreed Hulu would have a minimum valuation of $27.5 billion. Disney initially paid $8.6 billion in 2023, which reflected Comcast's share of the pre-agreed floor value. However, the two companies pursued a formal appraisal process to determine the fair market value of the assets. According to an SEC filing, Disney's appraiser valued Hulu below the floor, while Comcast's appraiser estimated a figure far higher. A third independent appraiser concluded the final valuation this week, resulting in an additional $438.7 million payment. The final payment is expected to close on or before July 24th. Disney will record the cost in its Q3 income statement under net income attributable to non-controlling interests, which will slightly reduce net income but won't affect Disney's 2025 adjusted earnings guidance. Disney CEO Bob Iger expressed satisfaction over the resolution, thanking Comcast for the collaboration and confirming that full ownership of Hulu enables a deeper and more seamless integration with Disney Plus and the upcoming ESPN streaming platform. Disney has already started bundling these services, offering viewers a consolidated experience with Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. Comcast, for its part, acknowledged Hulu's importance in its streaming evolution. With the sale completed, Comcast is now focusing its efforts on growing its streaming platform, Peacock, which launched in 2020 and had 41 million subscribers as of April. Hulu, meanwhile, remains a significant asset for Disney, with over 50 million subscribers reported as of March 29th. Overall, Disney has amassed 180.7 million streaming subscribers, largely through the success of Disney+. This deal positions Disney to sharpen its competitive edge in the streaming wars as it consolidates content, expands offerings, and streamlines user experience across platforms.
Societe Generale, one of France's largest banks, announced plans to launch a dollar-pegged stablecoin named USD Convertible, marking a significant move as the first major global bank to enter the US dollar stablecoin market. The digital asset will be publicly tradable beginning July 2025. It will be issued through its crypto subsidiary SG Forge on both the Ethereum and Solana blockchains. Stablecoins are digital tokens that maintain a 1:1 value with a fiat currency, most commonly the US dollar. They have gained immense popularity as a tool for quickly and efficiently transferring funds across blockchain networks without relying on traditional banking rails. Tether, the dominant player in this space, currently has over $155 billion worth of tokens in circulation. Societe Generale previously launched a euro-based stablecoin in 2023, but its adoption remained limited, with under 42 million euros, $47.6 million in circulation. The bank's new USD stablecoin will be regulated under the EU's MiCA framework, giving a competitive edge over rivals like Tether, which currently lacks licensing under European regulations. SG Forward CEO Jean-Marc Stenger stated that there is a high demand from corporations, financial institutions, and cryptocurrency exchanges for a regulated, reliable, dollar-based stablecoin. The bank aims to offer a safer and fully compliant alternative to existing offerings in a market where trust is critical. BNY Mellon will act as a custodian for the dollar reserves backing USD Convertible. Initially, reserves will be held in cash, but SG Forge plans to invest in yield-bearing assets, such as government bonds, over time, following a model used by other stablecoin issuers. The token will support various use cases, including crypto trading, cross-border payments, foreign exchange transactions, and cash management. SG Forge is already onboarding over 15 crypto exchanges and brokers as part of its rollout strategy. Meanwhile, U.S. lawmakers are preparing regulatory frameworks for stablecoins, with banks like Bank of America eyeing similar moves.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk announced that the company's long-awaited robotaxi service is tentatively scheduled to launch in Austin, Texas, on June 22nd. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, Musk said he plans to fly from Los Angeles to Austin for the launch. He also noted that the first driverless ride from the Tesla factory to a customer's home is expected on June 28th, which also happens to be his birthday. Musk emphasized safety as the top priority, cautioning that the data may still be subject to change. Earlier on Tuesday, he shared an 8-second video of a Tesla Model Y robotaxi navigating an Austin intersection with no driver or safety supervisor inside. The vehicle, painted black and tagged with a white graffiti-style robotaxi logo, stopped to let pedestrians cross. The initial pilot will be small-scale, involving 10 to 20 Tesla Model Y vehicles equipped with the latest, unsupervised, full self-driving software. Tesla's futuristic Cybercab, previously teased by Musk, is not part of this first phase and is expected to debut in 2026. Tesla will implement geofencing, meaning the robot axis will only operate within certain areas of Austin. The fleet will also be monitored remotely by Tesla employees to ensure safety during the trial phase. This development comes amid Musk's growing portfolio of leadership roles, including CEO of SpaceX, head of AI startup xAI, and ownership of the social platform X. Additionally, Musk has briefly led a federal government initiative focused on reducing oversight regulations affecting his businesses. Not everyone is celebrating. The Dawn Project, in collaboration with anti-Musk groups like Tesla Takedown and Resist Austin, plans to protest on June 12th. They cite safety concerns with Tesla's autopilot and full self-driving systems, claiming the robotaxi rollout may endanger public safety. The Dawn Project is led by Dan O'Dowd, CEO of Green Hills Software, which develops safety software used by Tesla competitors such as Ford and Toyota.
The European Union has officially launched DNS4EU, its own domain name system resolver, designed to strengthen digital sovereignty, enhance cybersecurity, and provide privacy-first internet navigation for citizens, institutions, and telecom providers across the bloc. DNS4EU serves as a European alternative to US-based public DNS services, such as Google and Cloudflare. It aims to reduce the EU's dependence on foreign infrastructure, ensuring greater control over data flows, and enhancing cybersecurity measures tailored to regional threats. The service offers built-in filters to block malware, phishing sites, adult content, and online ads. It also delivers real-time threat intelligence through coordination with computer emergency response teams and EU-wide telco partners. This collaborative effort allows for a swift response to cyber attacks by sharing threat data across borders. The DNS4EU is voluntary and free for home users, who can opt into additional filtering features. Tailored versions are available for separate groups, including government agencies and telecom operators, across EU countries. Despite its government backing, the EU asserts that DNS4EU will not be mandatory for users or organizations. First announced in October 2022, DNS4EU has been developed under the oversight of ENISA, the European Union Cybersecurity Agency, and is led by the Czech cybersecurity firm Whalebone, with support from experts across 10 EU countries. However, privacy advocates have raised concerns. Former German MEP Patrick Breyer warned that government-run DNS infrastructure could potentially lead to online censorship. While he praised the decision to keep filters optional, he noted that DNS4EU lacks a strict no-log policy. Although the EU claims data is mostly anonymized and will never be shared or used for surveillance, critics argue that even anonymized logs pose a risk. David Frauci-Heredia of the Internet Society added that state-run DNS infrastructure may encourage global fragmentation, potentially inspiring other nations to mandate national DNS services with censorship capabilities. Despite these concerns, the EU emphasizes DNS4EU as a tool to enhance privacy, security, and autonomy rather than as a means of surveillance or censorship.
NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang announced on Wednesday that the company will launch its first artificial intelligence cloud platform tailored for industrial applications in Germany. Speaking at the VivaTech conference in Paris, Huang announced that the platform will integrate AI with robotics, supporting automotive giants such as BMW and Mercedes-Benz in areas ranging from product design simulations to logistics management. As part of a broader push into Europe, Huang revealed that NVIDIA will expand its technology centers in 7 countries, support multilingual AI model development, and open up its AI compute marketplace to European businesses. The company also plans to assist pharmaceutical leaders such as Novo Nordisk in accelerating drug discovery with advanced AI tools. In a bold commitment to the region, Huang declared that NVIDIA will increase Europe's AI computing capacity tenfold within 2 years. Central to this expansion are plans to build 20 AI factories across Europe, massive infrastructures designed to train and deploy cutting-edge AI models. Huang emphasized the urgency for Europe to catch up with the US and China in AI infrastructure. His remarks echoed the European Commission's March announcement of a $20 billion investment into 4 AI factories. Wang's vision extends beyond AI to national digital sovereignty, arguing, sovereign AI is an imperative. No company, industry, or nation can outsource its intelligence. NVIDIA also announced a partnership with Mistral, a leading European AI company, to utilize the computing power of 18,000 next-gen NVIDIA chips for regional enterprises. In addition, Wang reiterated NVIDIA's growing interest in quantum computing, noting that the technology has reached an inflection point. He predicted that quantum computers will soon solve problems that are beyond the reach of even NVIDIA's most powerful AI systems, walking back his earlier skepticism about the field's short-term usefulness.
Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, announced on Thursday that it will allow users in Syria to trade cryptocurrencies on its platform. This move follows a significant policy shift by the United States, which lifted long-standing economic sanctions on Syria last month. With the lifting of the sanctions, Binance users in Syria will now have full access to the exchange's broad suite of services. This includes the ability to trade over 300 cryptocurrency tokens and stablecoins, including major assets such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDT. Binance also confirmed that the Syrian pound can now be used to buy and sell digital assets on the platform, expanding financial accessibility for residents of the country. The policy change comes in the wake of a dramatic shift in Syria's political landscape. In December, an Islamist-led government took control of the country after overthrowing former President Bashar al-Assad. In a surprise move, U.S. President Donald Trump lifted economic sanctions on Syria, a decision reportedly influenced by diplomatic pressure from Saudi Arabia, a key U.S. ally and regional power broker. The lifting of sanctions has opened the door for Syria's new government to pursue economic reforms, with particular focus on digital infrastructure and financial modernization. After enduring over 14 years of civil war and facing decades of international isolation and sanctions, the country is now aiming to rebuild its economy. Improving access to the internet and enabling participation in global financial systems are crucial to achieving this goal. Binance's expansion into Syria marks a notable development for both the crypto industry and the region. It also highlights how shifting geopolitical alliances and sanctions policy can directly impact financial technology access in previously isolated nations.
China on Thursday confirmed the existence of a new trade deal with the United States, following an announcement by former U.S. President Donald Trump. The deal marks a truce in the ongoing trade tensions between the world's two largest economies. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian emphasized that China honors its commitments. China has always kept its word and delivered results. Now that a consensus has been reached, both sides should abide by it, Lin said during a regular press briefing. The agreement comes after a key phone conversation between Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping last week. Their dialogue broke a recent deadlock that had emerged following preliminary negotiations in Geneva. Talks had stalled over China's restrictions on the export of critical minerals, prompting the Trump administration to impose new export controls on semiconductor software, jet engines, and other high-tech goods destined for China. However, after the Trump-Xi call, follow-up meetings in London reportedly solidified the terms initially discussed in Geneva. The result is what the U.S. has described as a more comprehensive framework for cooperation, particularly in reducing tariffs and improving access to essential resources. Trump, speaking on his social platform Truth Social, praised the deal. According to Trump, China has agreed to supply the U.S. with rare earth elements and magnets. At the same time, the U.S. will permit Chinese students to continue their studies in American institutions. He also noted that the U.S. will impose a total of 55% in tariffs on Chinese goods, compared to China's 10% on U.S. imports. Despite the optimistic tone, many details remain unclear, including how the agreement will be enforced and what specific concessions each side has made. China's Commerce Ministry declined to specify how many export licenses for rare earth materials would be issued, but expressed openness to ongoing dialogue on export controls.
Meta, the parent company of Facebook, has made a significant strategic move by investing $14.3 billion in Scale AI, securing a 49% stake in the data labeling startup. The investment values Scale AI at $29 billion and aims to accelerate Meta's artificial intelligence ambitions. A major component of the deal is the recruitment of Scale's 28-year-old CEO, Alexander Wang, who will join Meta to lead its newly formed superintelligence unit. Meta stated that the partnership would enhance collaboration in producing training data for AI models. We will deepen the work we do together producing data for AI models, and Alexander Wang will join Meta to work on our superintelligence efforts, the company noted, without revealing financial details. The move comes as Meta struggles to maintain its competitive edge in the AI space, facing stiff challenges from rivals such as OpenAI, Google, and China's DeepSeek. By bringing in Wang, a dynamic business leader known more for execution than academic research, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is betting on a shift in leadership style akin to that of OpenAI's Sam Altman. Wang, a former MIT dropout born to Chinese immigrant physicist, co-founded Scale in 2016. Under his leadership, Scale became a major player in the AI ecosystem by providing vast quantities of high-quality, labeled data essential for training generative models, such as ChatGPT. The company employs gig workers through subsidiaries like Remote Tasks and Outlier to manually label data at Scale. One will retain his seat on Scale's board while Chief Strategy Officer Jason Droge steps in as interim CEO. A few Scale employees will also transition to Meta alongside Wang. Meta does not plan to take a board seat in Scale. While the deal offers a big win for investors like Excel and Index Ventures, concerns linger about potential conflict of interest. Competing AI labs that rely on Scale services may reconsider their partnerships if they fear that Meta will gain strategic insight into their operations.
Apple regained the top spot in China's smartphone market in May, driven by a strong global rebound in iPhone sales. According to preliminary data from Counterpoint Research, Apple's iPhone sales jumped 15% year-over-year during April and May, marking its most successful two-month period since the COVID-19 pandemic began. This significant surge was fueled by renewed growth in Apple's two largest markets, the United States and China. These two regions remain crucial to Apple's performance, and even slight swings can significantly impact the company's quarterly results. Ivan Lam, senior analyst at Counterpoint Research, commented, "Q2 iPhone performance looks promising at the moment, but as always, swings either way are dictated by two markets, the US and China." Further bolstering Apple's position, the company saw double-digit increases in iPhone sales in several key regions, including Japan, India, and the Middle East. Part of the growth, analysts noted, can be attributed to consumers seeking to avoid tariffs, which favored Apple's pricing strategy in multiple markets. In China, a country where Apple has recently been facing intense competition from domestic brands like Huawei and Xiaomi, the tech giant has taken aggressive steps to retain its market share. Apple has introduced significant price cuts to its latest iPhone 16 models, with discounts reaching as high as 2,530 yuan, approximately $351, on Chinese e-commerce platforms in May. Despite stiff local competition and geopolitical pressure, Apple's resilience and pricing strategies appear to be paying off. Government data from the China Academy of Information and Communications Technology indicated that shipments of foreign-branded phones in China rose slightly from 3.50 million units in April 2023 to 3.52 million in April 2024. Apple's performance this quarter is setting a positive tone for the company, suggesting strong momentum heading into the second half of the year, especially if it can continue leveraging competitive pricing and maintain its strongholds in the US and China.
President Donald Trump personally stepped into a high-stakes battle between EchoStar Corporation and federal regulators, sending the company's stock on a wild ride. Bloomberg reported that Trump pushed EchoStar chairman Charlie Ergen and FCC chair Brendan Carr to find a solution for the company's troubled wireless spectrum licenses during a White House meeting. The news alone caused EchoStar shares to jump by an incredible 52% in after-hours trading on Friday. The meeting reportedly took place on Thursday. Trump first met with Ergen, then phoned Carr and asked him to come to the White House to join the discussion. For months, EchoStar has been fighting to keep its valuable wireless spectrum licenses. The Federal Communications Commission is threatening to revoke its licenses because it's investigating whether the company is meeting its legal obligations to build out a 5G network for the American public. In May, the FCC officially questioned EchoStar's progress and its request for extensions. The pressure from regulators has put EchoStar in a tough financial spot. The company claims the FCC's investigation is directly harming its ability to operate and build its network. It also argues that taking away licenses it paid billions for goes against how the commission has always operated. The uncertainty has been so damaging that EchoStar recently admitted to missing approximately $500 million in interest payments. This regulatory cloud also contributed to the collapse of a deal last year in which DirecTV would have acquired EchoStar's satellite TV business, which includes Dish Network. For now, the major players are staying quiet. The White House and EchoStar both declined to comment on the meeting, and the FCC has not yet issued a statement.